guys? Welcome back. Got some great news regarding the WNBA, which is it will be expanding to 18 teams by 2030. Information just came out yesterday. We getting 3 new cities on top of the other 2 that are becoming next year with Toronto and Portland. The new 3 cities announced will be Cleveland. They'll be starting to play in 2028. Got Detroit coming in 2029. And then we got Philadelphia coming in 2030. I think this is absolutely great news. Cleveland has had a team previously in the past. Detroit Shock were, amazing back in the day. Unfortunately, they actually were doing really good up until their relocation and unfortunate, basically demise, if you will, and ceasing to exist. They relocated to Tulsa and then, I think played a couple years there and then were unfortunately became a non-existent team after a couple years there. But, not going to keep y'all too long. Wanted to just speak on that real quick. So, I actually frequent Detroit a lot. Got family out there and everything. So this is really exciting news. Cleveland, we know, is a great sports city. You got the Browns. You got, obviously the Cavaliers. We saw how that city reacted when LeBron James brought them a championship. They suffered a drought for a long time before that. So I'm sure they're happy to have another team that can potentially bring them a ship out there. So very exciting. And then Philly, we know they get rowdy behind their sports. So I think those were 3 great selected cities, to be honest with you all. There's been a little bit of critique. Is this the league expanding too much? Is it happening too fast? Man, with them going, international with Toronto and adding a total of 5 more teams, the amount of talent in the draft pools that they've been seeing the last couple of years, and just the overall eyes on the league that have their surge of popularity the WNBA has gotten over the last couple of years and seasons, I think is absolutely necessary to expand. I don't really see nothing wrong with it. There's a lot of money to be made. Things are changing. They're getting charter flights now. It's just a totally different league than it was 20 years ago. So I really got to think that, women that paved the way for this to even be possible today, definitely give them their flowers, because without them, this wouldn't even be possible. It's not just one individual that we can accredit this to at all. This was a long process in the making. So I hope it more than succeeds, but I have honestly not really any doubts that it will. Regarding that, the expansion, I've seen, players have some takes on it. I saw Sophie Cunningham actually say that she didn't know how players were going to, feel about going to Detroit and Cincinnati. I'm not going to go in on her. She has a right to, question it. You know what I'm saying? She plays in the league. She is obviously more than capable of speaking on that situation and her concerns. I disagree, for her to basically, she was, basically admitting what other cities she felt like potentially would have been better, mentioning Miami, Kansas City, Nashville, great cities. Totally, no disrespect to any of those cities, but first off, I think there's a little bias there. I think she's from Missouri, so that's, I guess, why she said Kansas City. I mean, at the end of the day, they only, have a really great football team with the Chiefs. But is it a sports town that can be compared to the likes of a, Detroit or Cleveland? I don't think so. And yes, I did not make a verbal error there. Yeah, she did unfortunately mistake Cleveland for Cincinnati. I'm sure it was just a mistake. Not gonna go in on her. We all, slip up when we, communicate sometimes. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm sure she more than knows that the team she was referencing was obviously Cleveland, who we shall see. They don't have names for the teams or anything yet, so. But Sophie, I just Detroit they love their sports teams. Again, this is a person that's been there. Detroit Lions are everywhere. Like, as far as like just fan love and just, you know, posters and appreciation. Pistons, you got the Tigers. Just everywhere you go in the city, there is something dedicated to their sports teams, whether it be a restaurant, a bar, or whatever. The fans show out. Like they have, a lot of cities do this, but they have places where, they have watch parties and things like that, and they get very active. Like, I don't know, the most about Cleveland, but like I said, we saw how that parade was when LeBron James brought a ship out there. So I don't really see no reason to bring those cities down and have a frown about why they were named the expansion cities in this, newly announced ordeal. But speaking of Sophie Cunningham, so the Indiana Fever, they'll be playing in the Commissioner's Cup tonight. They got the Minnesota Lynx. That'll be on Amazon Prime Video. I won't be able to catch that one, unfortunately, so I probably won't have a recap or anything on it, which sucks. I wish I could. That'll probably be a classic. They did a lot to get there. They played really hard, balled hard in that Commissioner Cup tournament, and so I'm curious how the conclusion will be. So best of luck to both teams. Told y'all I have no bias. Being in Texas, I could, say maybe the Wings, but, I just love to watch all of the teams play. So whichever games I'm available to watch, I'm going to watch. So, again, best of luck to both teams. But to end it off, just wanted to speak on the expansion. Nothing too crazy news-wise. Indiana Fever will be playing the Aces Thursday as well. I'm excited to see that one. I haven't got an update on what that's going to be airing on, so I don't know for sure if I'll be catching it. Hopefully I can, but we'll stay tuned. Like I said, Portland and Toronto, they come into effect next season, so the draft will be amazing to watch. We'll get to see a lot of young, talented women coming out of college now have even more opportunity with more teams, being available to draft them. So we saw the Golden State Valkyries last year do that, as well as, acquiring some people from teams already, like Kate Walsh and things. So, very exciting news regarding the WNBA. Comment below how y'all feel. What do y'all think? Should it have been some other cities? Did your city miss out? Again, so being in Texas, so a lot of people, are mentioning, Houston and Austin didn't get a team. Austin, we, out here only have a soccer team anyways, so it doesn't really shock me that, before we even get an NBA or NFL or anything, we weren't able to acquire a WNBA team here in that region of Texas. Houston, I'm a little surprised. But again, Philadelphia, Cleveland, Detroit, I think are all get very behind their sports teams. So I expect to see those stadiums, arenas filled for these WNBA games on literally their debuts. So very exciting news. Congratulations to the WNBA, to their commissioner. Keep up the good work. I think you're realizing I think she's realizing the opportunities that have arisen from all this, popularity the last couple years, and they're capitalizing off of it. So can't do anything but tip my hat off to it. Let's go. I'm like I said, I'm excited. I can't even put into words. See y'all next time.